Good evening and welcome to Mo's channel. Today I want to talk about starting a business, investing in stock, developing real estate. A prior video that I put out spoke about these things at an abstract blue sky level. It's all good to know the concept, but to apply it requires more detail. So today, I want to go into more detail about how to start a business, how to invest in stocks, how to develop property, and how to generate revenue, income from intellectual property. But before I do that, I want to send a message out to my gangsters, my Bloods, my Crips, my Lords, Vice Lords, and GDs, gangster disciples. For those of you who might not be aware or familiar, Crips and Bloods are essentially on the West Coast. Started off in LA. Vice Lords, gangster disciples are more in the Midwest region. I have ran into some GDs and Lords in Denver, but they're mostly focused in the Midwest, Chicago and surrounding communities. As a youth, I used to bang. I used to be a Crip, rolling 60s, Adams and Normandy. I used to hate Bloods. But then in high school, I was playing quarterback, and one of my go to receivers was a Blood. He was from Inglewood, transferred to the high school where I was. I'm not going to mention the high school. We did win city championship, I'll say that much. We were good. But this was my go-to motherfucker. When I was in a clutch and I looked downfield, I didn't see nobody, everyone was covered. I knew that if I just let him a little bit, he could break away from that corner, pop, get that ball. So at some point in time, I realized there's no reason for me to hate another nigga because he wears a different color than I do, or he's from a different neighborhood than I am. All this killing that's going on in Chicago and that's been going on in Chicago is gang related, but more so money related. For those of you who might not understand what drives gang violence, let me explain the drug game to you and how you move up in the ranks. When I was about 8, 9 years old, I started off as a lookout. I stood in the corner. If I saw police coming, tell them boys, one time coming. Them boys put their product away. By the time one time rolls by, everyone just chilling, man. Whatever, smoking a cigarette, a blunt, whatever, fuck it. Talking shit. One time comes by, looking at niggas, goes on. Then I moved up to a runner. What is a runner? You're taking product from one place to another place. You got the cookhouse. That's where they bake, make, manufacture the crack. Take them rocks from the cookhouse, run them out to the boys, bap, bap, pat. They sell it. Then you move on. Now you get a few rocks of your own. 5 rocks, 10 rocks, 20 rocks. Nigga hook you up. Get out there, pop, 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 sell him, hit that nigga off. Stack your paper. Then you move up. Now you're buying powder. And you're cooking your own rocks. And you're out there selling your own rocks. You move up. Now you're buying more powder. I'm cooking more rocks. And now you have boys out there selling that shit for you. You move even higher. Now you're buying 20 keys, breaking it down, a key there, a key there, a key there, a key there. And you move even higher. And at this point, you're either transporting product across state lines, or you're now the one interfacing with the Mexicans or Colombians and getting 100 keys, 50 keys, 10 there, 10 there, 10 there. I want to tell you niggas something. I want to tell you niggas something. I've been there, I've done that. I want to tell you niggas something. You're making crumbs. You might go out there in the corner, you might make 3, 4, 500 a night. You might make $5,000 a week just selling rocks. If you're moving powder, you might make 10, 20, 30 a week. If you're transporting, moving weight, then you're up there making about 50, 60 a week. But them Colombian boys, the Mexican boys, El Chapo, Pablo Escobar, all them motherfuckers, they making billions. They making billions. You out there killing each other, fighting over territory, and they're making billions. You're making thousands or millions for the ballers amongst you. For what? See, what happens is we're some Crips, and we get word that some Bloods over there got about 50 keys they just got in. All right, we're gonna jack them niggas. We set it up. We go in there, pop, 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 pop. Take all their powder and the money they got and the guns they got. We just started a fucking war. All these drive-bys, all these gang-related shootings, that's what it's all about. And every day you niggas kill each other, you're doing the job of the KKK. You're doing the job of the police. You're making white people happy. I've been there. I've been there. I've seen it. To all of you little motherfucking nerds, whatever suburban shit motherfuckers that listen to these little hip hop songs and, oh man, trapping this, grinding this. Let me tell you little motherfuckers something. There is no glory. There is no glamour in being a drug dealer, in being a gangster. Every fucking day, you're looking over your shoulder. Who's gonna get me? Who's waiting to get me? Niggas setting you up. Bitches setting you up. Police setting you up. It ain't worth it. But you're there. But you're there. That's your life. That's your reality. My advice to you. This is my advice to you. From a nigga who's been there and got the fuck out. From a nigga who knows many niggas. Who knows many niggas that's been locked up, that's dead. I've seen my youngins that I grew up with put in the ground when I was less than 13 fucking years old. It is not the glamorous life they sing about. Not at all. Here's my advice to you. The smartest drug dealers The smartest gangbangers that I know have never spent a night in a jail cell. Never. The smartest drug dealers that I know get in, have a plan, make their money, get the fuck out. And they do it within 5 years. Within 5 fucking years. The smartest drug dealers that I know do not drive around in fancy cars. Do not wear big chains, flashy clothes. Because when you do that shit, all you're doing is calling the attention of the police. Come survey me. All you're doing is calling the attention of them other niggas in the hood that's now looking at you and saying, we're going to jack that nigga. The smartest drug dealers that I know do not keep their product and their money where they live. The smartest drug dealers that I know do not sell their product from where they live. And the smartest drug dealers I know tell nobody about what they do. Keep that shit to yourself. Do not call attention to yourself. But here's what you need to do. You start selling drugs today. Let's say you're moving 30 keys a day. 30 rocks. 30 rocks a day. You're just a two-bit hustler. 30 rocks a day. Let's say 30 dub bags, all right? So that's $600 a day that you're making. You're in the hood. It ain't that expensive. Get you a little apartment somewhere. A little shit-ass apartment. Of course, have your little piece. Niggas roll up, fucking pop, pop. Do what you gotta do. But $600 a day is $3,000 a week. Stack that shit up. After 6 months, buy one house. Not in the hood, but away from the hood. If possible, in another city. Even in another state. Even in another fucking state. Buy that house, rent that house out. Now you got money coming in. And you buy that house for cash. Another 6 months, you buy a second house. So if you do this, then every year you're buying at least 2-3 houses. After 5 years, you got 15 houses. If you're renting each of those houses out for about $1,000, $2,000 a month, that's about $20,000, $25,000 in your pocket each and every fucking month. That is your money. You don't owe shit on those houses. You paid cash for them. Take that money, start a business. A dry cleaner, a beauty salon. See, once you got those properties and those businesses, and now you're out of the game, then go out there, buy your fancy car. Then go out there, buy your expensive clothes. Because you know what? When coppers pull you over, hey, where'd you get this shit? I got this house, I got this house, I got this house, I got this business, I got this business. Now, if you say that is unethical, let me tell you something. George Bush Jr.'s grandfather is a convicted criminal, even though he was a U.S. Senator, Prescott Bush. He was doing business with Hitler. He was actually financing Hitler when it was illegal to do so. That's how he made his money. Joe Kennedy, John Kennedy's father, was a bootlegger. He ran moonshine during Prohibition. That's how the Kennedy clan made their money. The Koch brothers Their father was doing business with Stalin when it was illegal to do business with Stalin. That's how the Koch brothers made their money. A lot of these very wealthy white people made their money, especially if you're talking about generational wealth. A lot of them made their money through illegal means. But they were smart. They were smart. And they were able to clean their money and funnel it so they didn't have to stay in the illegal world. So that is my advice to you. My youngins out there on the street, moving product, gang banging, whatever, do what you gotta do. But be smart. Be smart about it. There are a lot of motherfuckers that want to see you out. You gotta be smarter than them. Stack your paper and get out that game within 5 years. Do not stay in that game for more than 5 years. Let's move on. I want to go into details of how to generate wealth. But I want to use examples of people that in their mind think they could never get out the rat hole in which they live. So I'm going to use an example of a black male, only has a high school education, works at a warehouse, makes $12, $13 an hour. I'm going to use an example of a low income family. Mother and father under the same roof, 2 children, they both make $13 an hour. Because if people like this can succeed, there is no reason why someone who makes 60, 70, 80,000 cannot succeed. So let's consider a young black male, 22 years old, doesn't have children, is not married, works at a warehouse, has a little apartment, pays $600 a month for, has a little car. You know what I'm saying? Okay. $13 a week, an hour. Let's say you put in some overtime, 50 hours a week. So that's like $700 a week. One thing, claim 9 exemptions. On your W-2, claim 9 exemptions. It's better to owe at the end of the year than to get back. Why? Because if you are an investor, you want that money up front so you could invest it such that by the time you have to pay the IRS, that money they would have taken prior has already grown. So $700 a week. Let's say a month has 4 weeks. That's $2,800 a month. Let's just say $3,000. Now, you decide you're going to start, and this could be a man, woman, it don't matter. You decide you're going to start, if it's a woman, they don't have children. You decide you're going to start a business. And for argument's sake, let's say you're going to start a transportation business. This transportation business will transport goods and services. So the first thing you want to do is establish a business plan. Now, what is involved in this business plan? Well, there's several things. Let's go through them step by step. Your marketing plan. Your marketing plan is going to tell you who your potential customers are, who your potential competitors are, what the needs of your customers are, how your competitors are meeting those needs, and where there is potential. The potential exists where needs are not being met, such that you can now meet those needs. I want you to think long range, and you'll understand why. So you determine you're going to start a transportation business. And you decide at the end of the day, you want to transport goods and product internationally. That's your goal, to transport goods and products internationally. You're making $13 an hour. You have no college education, but you want to build a company equivalent to FedEx. How are you going to do it? Set that as your 5-year objective. Your marketing research. First of all, identify what goods and services need to be transported, what products and people need to be transported across borders internationally. You might want to narrow to specific products. So, for example, instead of transporting perishable products, you might want to transport bulk, heavy products. That's going to lead you to shipping. If you're transporting perishable products such as food stock or flowers, things like that, which have a short lifetime and need to get to the destination as quick as possible, then research air cargo. Understand who is operating in that space. FedEx, UPS, American Airlines, and so forth. Understand what they offer. Understand what their pricing is. Understand what their operational model is. Understand what their cost of operation is, and what their revenue is, and what their profitability is. The financial information is easily available. All publicly traded companies must, on a quarterly basis, per SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission regulations, publish their financial reports. Research that. In terms of conveyance, now you could own your own ships, or you could be an agent. An agent books, so let's say you have Walmart. Well, not Walmart. Let's say you have a manufacturer, all right, that needs to transport their products to foreign ports. As an agent, you're the go-between. You identify what they need, and you go out there and look at the different carriers and match them with the most suitable carrier. And you get a commission off of that. You could be a carrier. You could buy a ship, you could buy a cargo plane, you could buy a passenger plane, you could buy a cruise ship, and now you transport the products, now you transport the people. So that's where you start. Do that research. But remember, that's your long range goal. What you want to do then is establish a roadmap. And along this roadmap, you want milestones. So when you've hit your final target, you're transporting goods and people transnationally. Prior to that, you're just transporting goods transnationally, and you're transporting people domestically. Prior to that, you're just transporting goods and people within your state. Prior to that, You're just transporting goods and people within your city. And prior to that, you're just transporting people within your city. So these are your milestones. Set up a project plan, which is your roadmap. Identify, set specific dates. In 10 years, I'll be an international carrier and I'll have an international airline. In 7 years, I'll be here. In 5 years, I'll be here. In 3 years, I'll be here. In 2 years, I'll be here. In 1 year, I'll be here. So let's look at the 1 year, where you're starting off. And let's dig deep into that. So in 1 year, you want to be transporting goods and people within your city. Let's look at people. Fortunately, Uber has done for the consumer transportation industry what the internet did for the retail industry. Now you don't have to go out there. If we look at the retail industry, in the past I'd have to rent a physical location to set up my shop. I'd have to buy inventory to stock my shop. And then I'd have to get people in to buy my merchandise. The costs, the barriers of entry were high. Now, if I want to set up a retail establishment, I set up a website, I market my website, I set up drop shipping arrangements with distributors, significantly reduced cost of entry. Likewise, with Uber, in the old days, you'd have to go get a license to operate a cab service. That costs money. You need a facility. You need vehicles. So the cost of entry were way high. With Uber, you sign up, you get a car, you drive. So we're going to start off doing Uber. Okay? That's where we're going to start off. Now, this is how we're going to start off. You make $3,000 a month, right? Live where you're living. You're paying $600 a month rent. Live where you're living. After the first month, save up every penny you can for 2 months. You have about $5,000 saved up after 2 months. Let's say $4,000. Go to auction. Go to an auto auction. There are many potential auto auctions out there. The police in your city probably have an auto auction. The sheriffs probably have an auto auction. Goodwill has auto auction. Go to Google. Go online. Do a search for auto auctions in your area. Go to an auto auction. Bid on a $4,000 vehicle. A decent vehicle. No older than 5-6 years. In good condition. You could get that for $4,000. A vehicle that you would probably have to pay $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 for, you go to auction, you can get it for $4,000. That's your work vehicle. Keep working your job. Let's say you're working third shift or first shift or second shift, whatever shift. When you get off, you put in your 8 hours, 10 hours. When you get off, put on your Uber hat. Your target is to make about $200 a night or a day off of Uber. You could do that. You work 7 days a week. Now, Saturday and Sunday you're off, so you can work even more hours. So Monday through Friday, you make $200. That's $1,000. Saturday and Sunday, let's say you make $300. That's $600. You're making $1,600 a week running Uber. You still got your job. Stack that cash. Over the course of a month, you've got $6,400. What do? Go buy a second vehicle. That second vehicle, go to a college campus. Find a college student that wants a job. I tell you what, motherfucker, you ain't got a car, I got a car. You'll drive for me. Now, you'll make $200 a day. You keep 100, I keep 100. So you're still making $1,600 a week from Uber, but then your driver is making an additional $700 a week for you. Now you're making $2,300 a week. 2 more weeks, buy a third vehicle. At this rate, after about 3 months, you should have about 6 vehicles that are each making $700 a week for you. That is $4,200. Plus the $1,600 you're making each week. That is $6,000 you're making a week in your business. Your job pays you $700 a week. You're making $6,000 a week. After 3 months, it doesn't make sense to keep working for someone. Quit your job. Focus on your business. Now you're in business. Now you want to move to transporting product. You're making $6,000 a week. That's $24,000 a month. Buy 2 vans after the first month. Link up with Amazon. Hey, I could transport your product for you. You're now making $6,000 a week off of Uber. Off of Amazon, you're making about $1,000 a week or $2,000 a week with 2 vans. You're now making $7,000 a week. No, $8,000 a week. 1 month, 2 months, you got $64,000. Buy 2 trucks. Go out there. There are many distributors. Don't look at the big distributors. Look at the small distributors. Talk to them. I got 2 trucks. I got 2 vans. I've been doing deliveries for Amazon for 3 months. I'm reliable. I could do deliveries for you. Now you got 2 vans, 2 trucks, 6 vehicles. At this point, about 8 months down the road, 9 months, 12 months, you should be easily making at least $15,000 a week. $15,000 profit a week.